I'm Andy Pilgrim with Automobile. Welcome to another edition of Pro Racers Take. Today at the NCM Motorsports Park, we have two versions of the Shelby GT500. I'll tell you what, both these cars have generated a ton of interest from the guys at the racetrack. I'm going to take them on track right now and see what they'll do. Okay, we're going to show you a flyer on the orange GT500, but both cars actually did identical speeds, so we'll just show the orange car. Super fast, these cars, amazing. Rocketing down here, and I know it's going to be above 160. 169 for both cars. And now quarter mile on the red car, 0 to 60, 3.7 seconds, excellent. And the quarter mile, 11.4. I mean, these things are really quick. Now we'll go back to the orange car for the quarter mile. All right, now it has stickier tires, 3.4 seconds 0 to 60, which is probably going to translate all the way to the end of the quarter. 11.0, superb, excellent. Okay, let's do the hot lap in the red car. So running up to the start line. Now remember, this car does have the PS4S tires on it. They are great tires, superb in the rain by the way, but they're not super sticky. So with all the horsepower, they're going to be sliding all over the place, which you are going to see. But they do a super job and they're consistent. Over 140 miles an hour up to turn 5, and you are all on the tire through here. You have to balance the car, but still 104 on the exit's great. Now it's tough down here, downhill, turn it, off camber turn in, the car slid, but we made the apex, which is good. And then turning in here, you see a little bit of counter steer. It's in track mode. I have not turned everything off. It's doing very well. It's not very intrusive at all. Gearbox is fantastic. I'm basically letting it shift itself is the easiest thing for me to do. When you're not super familiar with the cars on the track itself, then you just don't need to be messing around with trying to figure out where to shift the gears. Just let the car do it if the transmission lets you do that, which this Tremec does a super job with that. Through 17, it's very slippery through there. Nice little bit of curb. This engine just sounds fantastic. Down into sinkhole. Patience through here, getting it lined up, ready for the run onto the straightaway. And it's sliding, there's so much power you have to just control it. Took it a little bit of oversteer at the end there, but carried good speed. 2 minutes 14.77 seconds. That's a fantastic job on a PS4S tire. And now the hot lap in the orange GT500 with the track pack. This is going to be interesting. Michelin Pilot Cup 2s, very similar to the GT350R tire, and they are sticky. Look at the turn-in. You can immediately see the amount of mechanical grip difference. And I can put the power down much easier. I don't have to worry about wheel spin. These tires are really working well. And here we go. Just listen to that engine sing. And it is loud on the outside too. It sounds awesome. A couple more miles an hour up there, just probably because of the stick on the exit. 101 min speed is fantastic through turn 5. No slide down that hill with these tires, just turn it in and go. And again here, a little bit of catching the rear, but carried tremendous apex speed through there. Then from down here, tires are just tremendous, which we know. There's plenty of cars that come with these kinds of tires. They are fantastic. Exit here is always something to look at. Oh, almost 112. That is brutally quick. Coming over to 5. Love coming through 15. 141 miles an hour through the apex of 15. Tremendous. Anything over 100 here is quick. 104. This is going to be a good lap time. Mechanical grip here. Tremendous. 3-4 miles an hour quicker through that corner than the PS4S tire. That's nothing against the PS4S. It is not a sticky track type tire. It is a fantastic street tire. Here we go. Got to get a good exit out. Up against the wall. Up against the wall. Over 100, probably 102. Here we go. 209.70. That puts this firmly in the supercar category. Brilliant. And now back to the garage. As you can see, we've got two GT500s here. The red car here has the handling package on it, and this car has the carbon fiber track pack. I'll go into more of the differences a little bit later, but essentially under the hood, identical. So let's talk about the engine. The engine is a 5.2 liter supercharged V8 engine producing 760 horsepower and 625 pounds-feet of torque. It's a stump pulling engine if there ever was one. So when you've got an engine that has enough torque to effectively disrupt the rotation of the earth, you need a good brace. This shock tower brace is massive, and you need it. One other point I want to mention on the engine is this engine is a cross-plane motor, unlike the flat-plane motors of the GT350s. Another piece I noticed on the engine was this. I actually didn't know what it was, so the Ford engineer explained to me it's an oil catch can recirculation system. It doesn't come on the base car. In fact, if you order the package, this piece actually comes in the trunk. This car is a wet sump system. It has 11.5 quarts of oil. Inevitably, when you go on a track with that much oil sloshing around, you're going to get oil surge up in the head and the valve area here. This system very cleverly catches the oil, so there's no issue, and recirculates it back into the engine. A very clever piece. I've already mentioned that the orange car comes with the carbon fiber track pack and the red car has the handling package. I'd say both those packages are to do with either track work, autocross, or I guess just because you like the aesthetics. But there are differences and there are similarities. I want to go over some of that right now. I've already mentioned the oil catch can recirculation system. That comes with both these packages. Again, not on the base car. Also, we get camber plates. Camber plates come with both packages. You can get more camber out of the cars, useful for the autocross, definitely worthwhile if you're on a racetrack. Additional aero pieces come with both the packages. This splitter wicker piece on the front, both cars, is the same. So the front end, the same, both packages, but at the back, a little different. As you can see, a bit of a difference back here in the aero sense. So, base car, this spoiler is the base spoiler. With the handling package, you get the addition of this gurney lip. On the carbon fiber track pack, you get this monster wing. Aerodynamics, the front of both these cars are pretty much zero lift. No downforce, no lift. On the back, this piece, with the addition of the gurney lip, about 175 pounds of downforce, and this piece, 270 pounds of downforce, and that's at around 120 miles an hour. I wanted to point out this rocker panel extension that Ford puts on all the GT500s. Why is it here? Grit and gravel on the road these days. Wider and stickier tires, especially on the front when you're steering. Grit comes down the side of the car and basically knocks into the bodywork, the rear bodywork down there, causes some damage over time, paint damage over time, and this combats that. I just thought it was a nice piece. So these are the base wheels and tires and brakes for the GT500. We have a 16.5-inch rotor with a 6-piston Brembo caliper on the front and a 14.6-inch rotor and a 4-piston caliper on the rear. And the car rolls on the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, 305 30x20s up front and the 315 30x20s in the rear. So there's a couple of final points as far as the carbon fiber track pack with this orange car. First things, ride height, 10 millimeters lower at the front and 13 millimeters lower at the rear. The other thing has to do with tires and the wheels. These carbon fiber wheels, obviously major weight savings, but a cool deal, as you can see on the back here, they're very like a pale white. That pale white surface, that coating here is NASA related. Think the old space shuttle tiles. And this is for cooling and also some protection for the carbon fiber. It's pretty brilliant. And the track pack comes with different tires. These are the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s. They're kind of the Cup 2 Plus, the ones that you'd find on the GT350R, and they roll on the same size as the other car, the 305 30/20s up front and the 315 30/20s in the rear. And the brakes are identical, both cars. When you get in a Shelby GT500, you have to talk about the performance stuff. These seats are fantastic. They're the Recaro option. They're the same in both cars. I love it. They're not heated or cooled. That's what you have to give up with that, but they hold you in amazingly on track and they're very comfortable on the street also. Steering wheel, pretty much round, tiny bit of a flat bottom there. A lot of stuff on here. Don't like too much stuff on the wheel, but it's fine. It's okay. The wheel feels good itself. You've got the Cobra button, which gets you into the fun stuff, whether it's adjusting the revs, the heads-up display, the steering, a lot of good stuff on there. And then you've got the paddles. These paddles get you into that Tremec 7-speed double clutch automatic gearbox. It is fantastic. They've done a great job with this gearbox. In automatic mode, superb on the track. And when you're playing with actual manual mode, you can get the heads-up display, and it's just seriously just like a race car. You're going through the revs and you can see it right in front of you. It's great fun to use. The other part of the performance, of course, is the mode switches. Get you straight into track mode if that's what you want. Of course, that's what I want. And then you've got the exhaust modes. One thing about the exhaust mode, there is a quiet mode which is superb on the street. If you don't want to annoy all of your neighbors, that works really well. And you've got the TC off. Track mode turns it off partially, but then you can turn it off completely with that and try and mess with 760 horsepower. And the final part with the track pack, rear seat delete. There is no rear seat in this car. I always like to talk about practicality with the cars we test. The Mustang has a practical side for sure. Big trunk, about 13 plus cubic feet in here. Also, rear seat delete with this one. That doesn't mean there's no room in it. There's tons of room behind the two front seats. So again, you can get a lot of stuff in this car, more than you think. Something that Ford thought about for their owners of the GT500s was to do with the aero pieces. A lot of the aero pieces have different types of bolts, whether they're Allen bolts, hex bolts, or Torx bolts. Well, after you buy a GT500, about 4 to 6 weeks after you get the car, you get this nice little toolkit with all the types of tools, whether they're hex or Allen or whatever, that basically works to help you take the pieces on or off your car or adjust the rear wing or something like that. Excellent, excellent idea. I think I feel like Vanna White. All right, let's go do some corner shots. Listen to the exhaust of these GT500s. Incredible. I've been waiting for 6 months to get the GT500s here to the NCM Motorsports Park, and when they arrived, they did not disappoint. The engine in the GT500 is just amazing, ridiculous. The horsepower is basically intoxicating. And when you mate the engine with that Tremec 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, the combination is just excellent. And then the car's a practical everyday driver. For around $70,000, the base car has to be one of the best value dollar per horsepower you can get. When you add the track pack, thanks to the Ford Performance guys, you get a lap time that rivals many supercars out there. I tell you what, if you're in the market for a car in this price range and you want high performance, you have to consider the GT500.